All right, guys, we're back. So I went to the store today, and I'm going canning crazy. This is canning crazy month for Todd at Ask Todd. Okay, so I love my hot dogs. I love my smokies. And Nanathecanner, you gave me an idea. I'm stealing your recipe, and I'm going to do it today with a little bit of a change. All right, this is from Nanathecanner, N-A-N-A, the Canner. Check her out. Awesome. She's another Saskatchewan girl. Wicked recipes that have real transitions, you know what I mean? So today we are doing canning and pickling red onions. Why, you ask? Well, Mr. Todd likes his onions on his hot dogs and smokies, and he likes his pickles. So why not sweet and sour pickle these onions? So 3 pounds of red onions, 8 little jars with, you take 2 tablespoons of mustard seed, 1 teaspoon of celery seed, and half a teaspoon of chili flakes. The red chili flakes. It depends. If you don't want the heat, cut it back. If you do want more heat, add to it. You know what I mean? So that is going to be 2 tablespoons mustard seed, 1 teaspoon celery seed, 1/2 teaspoon chili flakes. Where I adjusted the recipe, her recipe was 2 teaspoons mustard seed, and I went to 2 tablespoons because I like the mustardy flavor. And then in the pot here, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it here. Here I've got 2 tablespoons of salt. I'm using Himalayan pink salt because you know me, I like my Himalayan pink salt. And I've got 2 cups white vinegar. Her recipe is apple cider vinegar. I'm going to do the alteration of regular vinegar because I don't really like ACV. I know I'm weird, especially with my barbecue and stuff like that, but I'm just weird like that. So I'm going to go with just regular white vinegar. Now, so I've got 2 cups of vinegar, 3/4 cups of sugar, and 2 tablespoons Himalayan pink salt. And I put in 1.5 cups of water. So I'm making the brine, right? Okay, so we've taken all those spices, mixing them up. I don't think you need to see me mixing them up. I mean, come on, it's mixy, you know what I'm saying? Just put it in a bowl, give it a little stir, and away we go. So then I separated them equally, just using the measure, just approximation works because brining is brining. Might be a little bit of different flavor, but that's artesian, right? So I've now got 8 little half pints. They've been sterilized in my Nesco, which, by the way, still loving this thing. We are rocking out the meat video. Oh, man. This thing's going to take us to a place we've never been. And I have had a request. If you've watched my other video, you saw me that I was canning HP sauce. Well, I've had a request from Nanathecanner, believe it or not, to make my HP sauce and show the recipe. So a couple of weeks, we'll have it out there. But I'm definitely doing it for you guys. So HP sauce, water bath canning, going to be coming up a couple of weeks. So I got my lids percolating. You can turn them down so I don't melt them. I've got my brine brining. And now what I'm going to do is take my 3 pounds of onions and throw them into the brine. Okay, time warp's coming up because I'm going to throw these in the brine and just mix them until they're soft. Not translucent, not fully cooked, just soft. So a little bit of crisp, a little bit of soft. You know what I'm talking about? So let's give her a go. Time warp coming up now. All right, we're back. Time warp. It's like fast, eh? Love it. Fastest way to can. Watch somebody else do it. Okay. So I've cooked down the onions until they're, see what I mean? Can you see that? They're wet. They're in the brine. And they've cooked down so they're, say, let's give it a 50% cook down, not fully caramelized or anything like that. Going with the jars, ready to rock and roll. Let's stuff the jars. You know the rules, headspace and all that. Make them in there because the more you get in there, the better it is. And if we got to fit all these onions into 6 jars or 7, I put 7 because I always overestimate. Going to have to debubble, I'm going to be using the Debubbler 9000 Amazon. Get the kit for $7. And then and then after we get all the onions out, we're going to add the brine. So let me do this, get all the onions going in here, then I'll add the brine and get the jars ready. And we will be using the Nesco. I will focus on the Nesco when I start to use it because you know how it is when I put the stuff in the jar, add the hot brine, clean the lids. I'll bring you back for cleaning the lids. But now it took us about 5-7 minutes for those onions. They're ready to go in the jars. Jars have got spice in it. Remember, 2 tablespoons mustard seed, 1 teaspoon celery seed, half a teaspoon red chili flakes. Put in the brine, which was 2 cups white vinegar, 1 cup sugar, no, 3/4 cup sugar, 1.5 cup water, and 2 tablespoons of salt. I used Himalayan pink salt. I will put the recipe down below, and also you can go over to Nanathecanner and check her out. I don't know how to put the link in yet, but I'm learning. I've got some people willing to teach me, and I thank you for that. So just stay tuned. We're going to be filling these jars and getting them ready for the canner, and then I'll show you how I do it in the new Nesco electric digital pressure canner. But although we're not pressure canning. So stay tuned. We're coming back. Okay, here we go. We got them all done. I ended up with 7 and extra brine, but it's not too bad. So what I'm going to do is, and you know my 100-year-old funnel there. Oh, they've got some really cool ones at either Ball or Amazon, where it actually has the headspace on the funnel, which is pretty darn cool. Sorry about the out of space. So I got a little bit of brine left, but I'm not too worried about it. I mean, it's vinegar. It's pretty cheap. What we got here is, I could probably top that guy up a little bit. Just make sure we're all topped. You know, I think it's 1/4 inch headspace. My vinegar, my wipey tool. Okay, we're going to do all the rims. Now, I heard that you don't need to sterilize your jars anymore. It comes to when you have new jars, they say you don't need to sterilize them, do in the wash and the stove and da-da-da-da-da-da, because spending the time in here will actually sterilize them. So, you know what? Old Mennonite way. I'm half Mennonite, so I still know the old Mennonite way of canning. Water bath canning. We don't go over the lid, we only go up to the product mark. Prevents siphoning a lot, and get some material inside up to the proper internal temperature to make the vacuum seal that you're after, right? Just make sure you're still clean. So still clean your lids. Magnetic tool, it's got its same place. We got the Stomper 3000 there. It's really cool. It saves your fingers, especially from boiling lids. Okay, put on your lids. Don't over tighten them or else you'll never get them off. Just tighten them enough, a little more than you would for pressure, but a little less than you would for the other stuff. You know what I mean? Okay. Now I'm cheating. I am really cheating. I'm going to bring you in closer here in a bit, but I am really cheating because point blank, I'm using my Nesco. Remember my $239 Nesco? I'm using it as a steam canner, so I don't have to go out and spend $800 on a steam canner. And you know what? I know the difference between canning water bath and canning steam. Steam canning uses steam, therefore it's a little more disinfecting, it's a little more power, it's a little more everything, right? Because it uses the steam. And I put way too much water in this. Hold on a second here. There, we'll try that. Okay, so steam canning. It's not pressure canning, but it's steam canning. So you're using instead of pressure, we're bringing the material up that's in the jar up to the proper temperature to create the seal. Now, when you're steam canning, it increases that temperature, therefore decreases the ability for bacteria and icky stuff to start doing their thing, Because, botulism, not a real issue this day and age. You can tell it because, if your jar's ready to explode or it's just that, oh, what the hell kind of thing. But we do want to kill it, and we want to give ourselves the best chance to have the best product. So hold on one second. All right, guys, we're back. Okay, so Water bath canner. I'm steam canning. I'm cheating. Nice thing is I didn't have to buy a steam canner because I got this canner right here. Okay, so all you got to do is hit water bath, hit the time. I put it at 15 minutes. Hit start. Does a little swirly swirly there. When steam starts coming out here, then we know the steaming's happening. So we're steam bathing. Hit start. Starts a countdown. When it's done, it turns itself off, vents off really quickly. Boom, your cans are done. So you know what I'm going to do when this is going to do? I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to babysit it. I'm not going to read a book while watching it or hoping that my stove doesn't break or catch fire or things explode. I'm going to wait till it does steam. Gives me time to clean up this mess that I've done. We've got 8 jars in there. I took your advice, Nana. I made sure to do extra jars, and I still have some brine left, but they're all pretty full, but I didn't overfill them like you were suggesting that might happen. All right. So we got the jars and we got this, and now it's going to steam can, which is awesome. I love this thing. And from there we go. Now, I got to tell you what I did last night. Hold on. Want to see it? Oh, yeah. You know what it is? This is sweet and sour pork, baby. And it's canned. You know how long it took me? I'm going to say nothing. Because what I did last night, I was cooking for the fam. Had some pork out, cut it up, diced it up into 1-inch cubes, and started frying it, making the pork. And I was like, that's way too much because Tanya's out camping. Xander's just downstairs. He doesn't want any of that. So it's all for me, and that's a lot of meat. And I looked over, and I saw this. And I went, Self, we have some jars, do we? And we looked over, and we had jars. And I went, why the hell not? If it fails, it fails. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I mean, worst case, it fails, I freeze it. It goes back in the freezer where I'm trying to get all that meat out of to do this, right? So I put it in there, and this was probably about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. I'm just settling down, watching a little bit of TV. And I didn't have to babysit it. I didn't have to sit here and watch or wait or do anything. All I had to do was come back in the morning, open the can, give them a quick wash off because I got well water, so it's kind of schmutzy. And then bang, I got another 5 jars. So that means I can have that meal that I had last night with just a flash bit of rice. I can do the rice in the Instapot. So I can go bing, bang, boom, add some chicken broth that I canned the other day with this canner. And I've got chicken fried rice with sweet and sour pork at home for 5 minutes work, maybe. Or if you consider that I was making a meal, is it 0 work? Because if it's 0 work, that's okay, man. Because 0 work equates into this. Oh, she's starting to heat up. I'm going to show you how easy it is. It is so cool. Okay, I'm going to go put this back over there. I'll be right back. Do not go anywhere. All right, here we go. So I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little plume of steam coming up here. Okay, it's building up right now. Now all I have to do is this. And you know what? I'm done. So on this note, okay, we got some new stuff coming up. We've got, let's see, I know you guys have probably already seen the blueberry one. Okay, we've got this one. I've got HP sauce coming up. And I'm starting a new endeavor. That's right. Hold on. That's right. Sourdough. Okay, so had a ton of flour. Kind of bored, lots of stuff done. Weather was really hot outside. I didn't want to go outside and play, and what do you do, right? But it's nice and cool in the house. And I thought, well, I got my mixer over there. What the hell? I'll make myself some bread. So I made some bread. Well, it turns out Xander loved it. But then he goes, Dad, I really like sourdough. And I'm like, from just a trick to, here we go. So I ended up making bread again. And it turned out. So that's twice that I made bread and it turned out. But then he still goes, I really want sourdough. I'm like, you know what? I'll look into it and we'll get it going. So I went down to Nutter's. That's Nutter's in Milford. And I picked up some dark rye flour and some sourdough starter. So my boys, Xander, his buddy came over today and his mom was in. And she saw that and she goes, are you making sourdough? I'm like, well, I'm just about to start making sourdough. Do you have any starter? And I'm like, no, I've been having a hard time finding starter around here. So she goes, and I went, would you like some starter when I'm making it? She's like, yeah. I said, well, they say you got to get rid of half of it at your third day or whatever, but I've got some videos to watch to see how that actually works. And she goes, well, if whatever you got, I would be more than happy to take it. So, new goal. Let's share the sourdough starter. So any of my guys out there, if you want, I'm going to be making sourdough starter on this. Hold on. Sourdough starter kit. It's dehydrated sourdough starter, but it's all got all the cultures and everything else. This thing could be like eons old. I'll find out everything about it. I'll give you a little heads up on it. But so one of these adventures is going to be making sourdough. It isn't going to be artesian. The Zimmermans. Ruth Ann Zimmerman, she has a channel. Oh, yeah. I used her recipe for the bread and it turned out fantastic. And I was using like more farmy stuff like tallow and stuff. And then turns out she's got a recipe for what her family uses for soft sourdough buns and stuff. Oh, hold on. Hear that? That's steam doing what steam does. Steam canning. Yeah. Better than water bathing? Yeah, a little bit. I mean, water bathing works. Water bathing has been working for probably close to 1,000 years. Steam canning came in the Industrial Revolution, and it revolutionized sea travel because they could steam canning, better canning. Our canning with pop tops, one little machine, $239 on Amazon. Naomi, do it, girl. It's going to save you tons of money. This little machine here has now boosted me into pressure canning, which I didn't want to do because I didn't want to spend $1,000 getting involved, right? It has now pushed me into steam canning, which I didn't really need to do, but what the hell, if you're doing it, all I got to do is close a lid. And it's really doing good on my water bath cannings because I don't have to use the big ass pod that barely fits on the stove that steams up the entire house. Oh, did I mention I can just walk away? So on that note, I'm walking away. I will bring you back when this is done in about, it says 12 minutes. So give it about 10 minutes to off gas. You know what I mean? To cool off. So if I can't pop the lid, I'm not popping the lid. But because the vent is open, it vents off really fast. Then we'll pull them out and we'll see what they look like. So I'll bring you guys back when that happens. Okay, we're back. Took 15 minutes for the steam canning. Took about 5 minutes to off gas. Shall we check it out? Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Okay. Use my grabbers. Get your self-set grabbers. They have kits on Amazon. They have kits everywhere. Garage sales. You know it. Just get this thing. It'll save your hands. Okay, come on. First one's the worst because there we go. Okay. Okay, people. There she is. Hey? See the stuff on the bottom? Seeds are on the bottom, so that'll all sort of like reverse tee up. It'll be awesome. And I say to leave these for a couple of days. I'm going to say a couple of weeks. So we're going to go from today. Today, I believe, is it's not September yet. It's the 28th of August. So on the 11th of September, so this episode's going to be obviously after 11th of September. On the 11th of September, we are going to try these out on some hot dogs, on some fresh baked buns. And I started the starter. I did. It only took 5 minutes. Get the package. I know I'm cheating, but that's okay. I like to cheat as long as it's okay, and it only costs $10. And 5 minutes my time, and it's on YouTube, so I get to look. Okay, so because I've started the starter and it takes 7 to 10 days to go, I'll make fresh buns, and that thing just sealed. I'll make fresh buns to go with hot dogs or smokies, probably smokies because I've got some homemade smokies outside. We'll do the smokies, and I'll make the buns, and I'll do the onions, and we'll do a taste test for lunch on the 11th. All right, guys? So this is definitely going to be after the 11th. So I'm going to sign off now. These little buggers are very packed in there. So I'm going to sign off now. We know we got a good one. They're sealing like crazy. Steam seal. Tell you, man. Steam bath and rocks. So They're sealing like crazy. I'll give you a fatality rate or a successful rate, whichever it is. I've never done these before. Nanathecanner, thanks for the advice of using the regular vinegar. We'll see what the taste test is. And you know, Nana, if you're ever in the area, feel free to stop by. We could do a video. I would love to compare mine to yours. Not for a challenge, just to see the difference in flavor. Because it isn't about how good you make it. It's about how much you like it. So my flavor is different than your flavor. I just had a guy, I did some pickled eggs. And he goes, oh, you know, they were good, but I'd like a little different. But I don't know, it's okay. And I looked and I went, but my job is to go up there and make your flavor. So let's add this and this to those pickled eggs and see what it turns out like. So the same with this. It's not what your favorite is. It's how much you like it. A little change here, a little change there. I did use more mustard and I did use white vinegar. So I went 2 cups white vinegar. Hold on, I'll get the recipe because I can't remember. I used 2 cups white vinegar. I used 3/4 cup sugar. I used 2 tablespoons Himalayan salt, 3 pounds of red onions, 2 tablespoons mustard seed, 1 teaspoon celery seed, 1/2 teaspoon chili flakes for a little bit of heat because I like that stuff. I will put this recipe. It doesn't really thing. I will put this recipe down below for you to try out. I want you to try it out. I want you to modify it if you want to. Let me know how it goes. Guys, best thing ever. Like, wow. It might break tomorrow. Who knows? I'll keep going. I'll keep working it, and I'm working it damn hard like I do my butcher shop. We'll see how it goes. So this is Todd from Ask Todd signing off for the day. Thank you very much for joining me on this run. Nana, again, thank you for the information, for the opportunity to try this recipe. Have a great day, people. Remember, Saskatchewan pride goes a long, long way. Okay, guys, just one amendment here. I should have shown you, but I forgot about it, so I'm throwing it in anyways. That's them coming right in, right here. That's what I got. That's just the broth right there. So we're looking at 8 jars right here, and they're really hot. Okay. That one didn't seal. Okay, 7 of 8, and that's still really hot. I bet you will. Just check on the lid. I bet you I didn't put the lid on tight enough. So I've got 8 jars, 1 not working. I'll just let it sit for a while. This is just broth, and we'll let it go. All right, so 8 jars final. Off that recipe, made 8 of these little guys, a little bit more brine, had extra brine left over. Give it a shot.